coming down, that might change the entire thing. Yes, it will. Cop actually getting a heal, but he's going to fall, and I'm not sure Elements is going to get out here, and that'll be another Oracle's down. Now he has no tower to go back to.
Yeah, very, very painfully. So how game-changing that Shen ultimate was once it did finally come out, was able to come in and clean up, and so a very nice fight there for CLG Black.
And that was an ace. That is 2 players left for CLG Black, but it was humongous in the fact that Udyr is now 3-0-4, and they are going to do what Shen does best, and that is split push.
They're going to split push all day. Looks like they will be able to capitalize, and I'm not sure if they're going to be able to get this top tower. It's going to be, yeah, it's going to be fine. It's only the Darius.
I don't think Darius is going to be much of an issue, which he hasn't been. He really hasn't been a factor all game. He's built tanky, he's got a Radwins, he's got a Phage, but had to build some gold per 5s because he was behind in lane. It's going to be a humongous issue for Rustrice to actually be a factor, given that when you get close to CLG Black and their team composition, you get punished.
Yeah, and so if they're able to have really nice initiation, you know, if Jackie is able to hit a very nice ultimate with that Shyvana, and everybody gets very low, and Darius is able to just kind of waddle into everybody and pick up some kills, it'll be very strong for them, but, you know, pending that, it's going to be very difficult for him to actually participate in team fights.
It really is. He's not going to be much of a factor, and I think, unfortunately, that was their last pick, I believe, in draft, and that's really painful. It's really too bad. We haven't really seen Darius be much of a factor in true team games. Of course, it's known that he's a pretty good solo queue stomper, but as far as these team matchups go, he's got to get in close, and then he has no escape. And without the escape ability that some other, you know, bruisers have for that top lane, it's really becoming a sad factor that he's not going to be able to pull it off and do much and be much in a team fight.
Yeah, we see same Vicious finally clearing out his blue camp. Udyr was able to steal that on his way out. Misses one, goes back and cleans it up once again. And so now the kind of question is, okay, what does Curse want to do? Do they want to just wait for this next Baron to come up and try to contest it? Do they want to try to group up and push for objectives? What is their actual plan, and how are they going to get back into the game?
Well, you know, I think they have to extend this game longer, or at least as long as they can, because they are not behind that much in gold. And what they really want is they want Jackie to be that beast, you know, that beast of an Orianna to really make a difference in team fights. Because if she's able to land her shockwave, reorient, you know, everybody in the middle of that, that's able to let Shyvana jump in. That's able to let, you know, Darius jump in just enough to do and really squash whatever first target they want to pick. However, Karthus building the Zhonya's is a real difference in this matchup, in that it's going to keep him alive and keep that field alive, the E ability, to do damage whenever they get in. So the longer Karthus is out there, the worse it really is, and they can't burst him down at this point.
Yeah, it can be very, very difficult to burst him down before he gets that Zhonya's off. As you said, just a very, very strong pickup for him. And now we're seeing, you know, it seems like CLG Black is really kind of running this game. They're really controlling the position. You see how well their wards are right now. Again, they've established this really great perimeter that gives them control of all of this map. This whole map kind of belongs to them right now. Seeing this one little ward here that Curse is rocking by their race. But it's a very awkward position for Curse to be in. And this is kind of the phase of the game where if you're playing this right now, this is a ranked game you're playing, and you're on Curse, you're just kind of like, well, I feel like I'm standing around a lot more than I should be.
Right, well, they can't overextend either. They have no towers outside of their base anymore. All 6 towers are gone. Mm-hmm. So there's nothing to run back to if you are in trouble or run back to safety. They have to try and keep the lanes from pushing into their, you know, Nexus turrets at this point. And you know, that's going to force them to split push, which unfortunately their team comp is not going to be good at, where Shen is. And when it comes down to it, Black is going to have the better team presence in team fights, but they're also going to have the split push to go wherever they want to.
Yes. Do you hear a dog in the background? Is that something that you hear?
I barely heard the dog. It wasn't very loud, but yes, I did.
All right. Well, now you're going to hear it every time because I brought it up, but that's good. We do have Curse putting some pretty aggressive positioning here. You know, they're going to be able to move around and counter a lot of these wards if they want to. Do they actually have an Oracles right now?
Curse, I don't, unless Elements bought another Oracles, he did not. So no, they do not have an Elements on their team, or Oracles on their team. Meanwhile, Psycho Sid did buy an Oracles, and he is the most tanky, but he's going to be brought out Ooh, he had to run away there real quick, and that's going to actually allow Curse to take down the central tower, which is pretty big for them. I think they actually needed that really. Oh, there's a shockwave, and that's what I was talking about, setting it up. But again, they can't burst Karthus down. They do actually take him down, but he's still sitting there. They do get 2 kills. However, Saint Vicious falls for 1. It's a pretty good trade for Curse, not bad, but when looking back on it, I can see Hoodstomp's going to get, be able to pull his health back up from getting lifesteal back, and that's going to create, 3 fully healthy CLG Black players against 4 players from Curse who are actually down. Cop is the only one at full strength, and they're going to be able to clear all the wards they want.
Yeah, we did see Shen was going ahead. He was pushing that bottom tower during that mid push by Curse. Curse really had to initiate. They had to get in there and make something happen because they were in a very awkward position at that point. But definitely not enough for a Baron right now from either team. Both teams a little bit scared of that engage. We do see Oriana picking up a Zhonya's and Shyvana picking up a Frozen Mallet as well. Really going to let him lock onto targets and stay on them very, very well. We do see Hoodstomp trying to go in West Rice here a little bit. Backs off. Doesn't quite know how far support is from that Darius and just goes ahead and backs off. So now the question is, people are rezzing up. They're coming back to life. They're full. They're bought. Everything is beautiful in the world. Who is going to really try to pressure this Baron?
Yeah, Baron is really going to be the next key objective. I'm not sure that there's going to be much that Curse can do, although they do have the advantage that they have the pit inside to them, but ward coverage is going to be huge. Being able to Cop and Nijaki are really going to have to do most of the damage. The shockwave was beautifully landed, as we saw in the last team fight, but again, because Karthus was able to stay alive longer and do damage, either Darius or Saint Vicious, if they get into that team fight, they're going to be down, and it's going to be really hard for them to actually stay in and be able to do enough damage to kill anybody. They did get Karthus down, and that led to a good advantage for them, but Karthus was still doing all the damage he wanted to do, and what it boils down to is I think CLG Black has the better composition and better global ultimates to really make the difference.
Yeah, you see just how powerful that Shen split push is over and over again. Basically, anytime nothing's going on, you see Shen in his own little lane, in his own little world down here. He has that Sunfire, really helps him push, as well as that Wit's End, of course, makes him attack quite quickly and burn down those creeps. And he's content to continue this kind of counter-pushing strategy. We do see Udyr going in here and trying to take the blue from Jackie.
And they are going to take it from them really quickly as Psycho Sid picks it up. And now they're going to actually pick up this dragon, which is going to extend the gold lead. That is now going to be almost a 5,000 gold difference. That's huge. Meanwhile, Shinset's going to be able to push bot lane, and Curse is trying to say, okay, you took dragon, we're going to try and take Baron, or at least position ourselves for it. But it's going to be tough unless CLG Black really gets out of position. Now they're going to kill it. Maybe they'll start Baron, and they're going to force this now.
Yeah, Hoodstop actually went back to buy and heal up there, and that was a really good timing here for Curse to actually go on the Baron. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to contest this, but it looks like they are going to go in. Psycho Sid running in as much as he can.
And looks like St. Vicious wants to go out after Kennen. Kennen pops. Now we're going to see Hoodstomp gets pulled in by Westrice, but Westrice is going to go down really quickly. Karthus goes down. Westrice actually does go down. Meanwhile, Graves is caught. And let's see if Bloodwater goes down. He does. Now let's see if St. Vicious and Cop, they can bring down Kozuzuna. Meanwhile, Psycho Sid is trying to get down to take Cop down because Cop is the biggest threat. Meanwhile, St. Vicious is trying to finish this off. Nijaki is actually able to pull this off. And this might end up really well for Curse if they can catch Kozuzuna and get this ace. They're not going to do it. They're not going to chase it. But it does end up being better for Curse yet again. They had more of a set being able to dictate that fight, starting the Baron, pulling them in. You're right, Hoodstop wasn't able to get in until late. And actually what he did, Darius was able to come in and hook Graves outside into the river. That made the difference that they needed, and they got Hoodstomp down quickly, which mitigated some of the damage, taking down both carries between Karthus and Hoodstomp. That was big. Curse might be able to sneak back into this game as they dwindle it down to a 4K gold lead with that fight.
Yeah, but you see this top lane kind of finally pushing down. Hopefully they'll be able to get that second tower of the game, and that would be quite a big gold boost. If Curse does manage to win a nice fight, and if they do manage to get that Baron, well, they're also going to get, 5 or 6 towers out of it, I imagine. Probably that 5 without too much of fuss. I'm sorry, there was a second one down mid. So 4 towers without very much fuss at all, and that's going to be a huge gold boost for them. So this Baron is actually very, very, very important.
And And they're going to go right back to it. They're actually going to go try clear wards again and see what they can pull off. But and Shen and Hoodstomp are kind of out of it, and I believe the Shen ultimate is still down. So this would be a good time as any to go back towards Baron if they can, because not everybody's around the area. Let's see if Curse makes that move.
Yeah, it does look like they're definitely setting up for it. They at least want to clear. They want to put the fear of Baron into them, if nothing else. Want to try to bait out some sloppy positioning. They don't have Karthus ultimate up. They don't have that Shen ultimate up yet. So it's a very awkward time right now for CLG Black. Those cooldowns are so important in the team fights we've seen over and over again. Just how powerful they can be, and it's just they're not up yet. So you have to be very careful.
Yeah, and here is the thing. The Karthus ultimate is down, the Shen ultimate is down. Both were nerfed recently, and Curse actually is going to turn around, and they're going to actually go for Baron. Meanwhile, CLG Black is going to go right up the middle and say, well, if you're going to do Baron, we're going to try and take this inhibitor. So we're going to have somewhat of a base race here where they go right straight for it. Let's see if they can... They're all backing to try and cover themselves, but this is going to be two towers really quickly as they have plenty of tanky potential and maybe two inhibitors. This might not be worth it if they don't catch up to them.
Yeah, just look, they are going to try to get the engagement here. A nice pull in there by Westerice. Karthus just using his defile in the middle of everybody. We see a lot of action coming over here. Hoodstomp getting caught out. Westerice trying to put out as much damage as he can, but it's not enough. The Karthus ultimate comes out, does a lot of damage. Hoodstomp doing a very nice job of cleaning up along with that Udyr. And now, suddenly, with these towers already down, CLG Black going to be able to clean up this inhibitor as well. Very awkward position for them right now. They do still have cop-up, so they are able to put out quite a bit of damage between that Orianna and Ezreal combination. But it looks like CLG Black is going to go ahead and get out of there nice and clean.
The sad part is Saint Vicious and Westerice got caught out and split, and I believe it was mostly because of where Karthus was sitting. Cop and Nijaki were just afraid to actually go dive onto Hoodstomp and everybody, all the rest of the carries, but it was 4v2 in that bot. Meanwhile, they finished off Karthus up top, but Karthus doesn't care if he dies. He still gets to sit around and cast his ultimate if he wants to. Meanwhile, Saint Vicious and Westerice got destroyed 4v2 next to their leftover parts of their tower down there. Curse, the last thing they can do is be split. They absolutely need Cop and Nijaki to pull off that damage while they are up front as the bruisers just trying to control what's going on in the front of the fight. So Curse has really got to talk about that and fix that problem, because that's going to be a major issue.
Yeah, absolutely. That coordination is going to be so important, especially when you're fighting against very strong, not only AoE damage, but single target damage as well over there on CLG Black.
And tanky. They have a lot of tanky presence. I'd say every one of their members outside of Hoodstomp, has close to 2k health. That's really big. Udyr actually has 3k health at this point. So does Shen. Tarek sitting at 2,700 and Karthus sitting at 2,300. That takes a while to actually beat them down, and there's no true abilities that are going to do a massive amount of damage to all of them at once without somebody trying to die for Curse. So with that much beefiness, it's going to be really tough for them to come back. Now Curse is just forced to sit back. They can't do anything else. They have a Baron on a few players still, but 2 inhibitors down. All the rest of the objectives, the dragons, the buffs, are just going to be taken over by CLG Black, as they also have great ward coverage as well.
Oh yes, very beautiful ward coverage here. I wouldn't be surprised if they make a nice pass here and try to clean up the rest of the coverage for Curse as well, make them feel as uncomfortable as possible. We've seen just how defensive Westerice has actually had to build on this Darius. He has a lot of armor, which is fantastic, and he's got some utility, but not able to put out that raw damage to really kind of burn down targets.
Yeah, and it's fine that you build armor. He has about 2,800 health to start with, and about 284 armor. But the real issue is he's got 140 magic resist, but he has to sit amongst Karthus. I don't think there's been a team fight where Karthus hasn't been well positioned to be able to do damage to everybody, and that's where he's getting melted for the most part. Not to mention, you can build all that armor, but a Last Whisper on Hoodstomp is really going to reduce that armor by a certain amount. Meanwhile, Shen is slaying the dragon by himself, split pushing as he wants to. CLG Black has exactly what they want in the coverage of the map, so this is going to be really tough for Curse to come back from. Even though they're only down 5k gold, I feel like CLG Black has all the control in about the last 20 minutes of this game.
Well, it's just so difficult to deal with the split pushing at this point. You see Shen all the way up in their base, attacking the actual tower, just completely baiting them to retreat. So they can do something like this, go on St. Vicious, and St. Vicious can't engage here. They have to go stop this Shen. And so he's able to just get a lot of free damage out on him and kind of bait them into fighting.
And it's funny because this is the true definition of split push. Shen's moving back, moving forward, moving back, moving forward. And at a moment's notice, if they actually focus anybody on CLG Black, probably Hoodstomp or Karthus at this point, it's that Shen Ultimate's going to come out and just keep him alive that much longer. So, Westeros is going to have to get a really clutch pull out of Darius. Shyvana's going to have to be in the middle of everything. Now they've actually pulled St. Vicious back to try and prevent Ghost Susuna from pushing too far, but it's just a big difference here. This top tower is getting poked down. They don't have the better poking team, but they definitely have the more tanky team, and that's what's going to make a difference when it comes down to it.
Yeah, so they're very, very content to just kind of sit here, continue to try to catch somebody out. If Curse makes one little mistake here, they are not going to hesitate to capitalize. Looks like Curse has had enough, and they're going for the initiation.
And wow, I just saw St. Vicious try and take on Ghost Susuna, and here comes the ultimate coming out. It's going to be on Hoodstomp just to make sure they protect him down. St. Vicious is going to try and get in. He's going to get down. Ghost Susuna, meanwhile, is able to go on top, and St. Vicious is now getting chased back. He went on his own again. It's going to be an issue. Karthus ult is out. That's going to finish off, for the most part, finish off for Hoodstomp to finish off Soraka. That's a double kill. That is 4 kills to none. That's going to finish this game. That was well played by CLG Black. They used the global ultimates to the perfect advantage. They played perfect split push. They also played it exactly where they wanted to. And Karthus dies, but that just doesn't care because they're going to burn it down.
Yeah, very nice job. We did see the power of Shen there. Very, very nice. Well executed split pushing. And of course taking those objectives so strong.
That was impressive. CLG Black really just playing perfect positioning. I don't think the positioning could have been any better for most of the team fights. I think there was one team fight that might have got caught out in, but the rest of it,